Welcome back to the drivers' press conference, where we're joined this time by Ferrari drivers Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to see you. Let's start by just looking back at last weekend briefly. An email question has come in from Lewis Larkham at crash.net, and it's a question to both of you. Have you spoken with each other about your collision since the race to clear the air, and have you now put it behind you? Charles, perhaps we could start with you.
Well, yes, I think we've put it behind us, yes. Yeah, I've directly went to talk to Seb after the race to excuse myself. I think he accepted them. Yeah, now it's behind us, and on my side, I'll focus on this weekend, trying to achieve the best result possible.
Thank you, Charles. Seb?
Yes. So... I mean, there's not that much to add. I think these things are the worst that can happen. Obviously, if two cars of the same color come together, it's something obviously we always try to avoid. But you're racing, and this stuff, unfortunately, is also part of it. So we spoke about it. It's behind us, and a couple of days later, we have obviously a chance to do better here in Hungary.
Thank you, Seb. Let's go to our first video question, please. It is Matthias Brunner from Speedweek.
Matthias Brunner, speedweek.com. This is for Sebastian. Seb, no third practice due to rain. A quali in the wet, both cars out of the race after only a couple of laps. How do you know where you stand exactly regarding what the new parts are really worth?
Well, it's a difficult question, and probably the right answer would be we don't exactly know, and I think Sunday would have helped us to understand better also at the same track, to see the pace one weekend and then the next weekend. But then again, I think the team has a lot of experience. We know coming here, what this track is about, the tires and so on. So we will see, I think, and get the final confirmation this week. We know that the parts have worked. We would have liked them to be obviously a game changer. It doesn't look at this stage like that, but then again, we're yet to confirm them in real race conditions. So I think it will be interesting, and we are excited about seeing where the car will be tomorrow, and then especially in the race.
Thank you, Sebastian. And as a follow-up to that, John Noble at motorsport.com asks, do you think Ferrari has slipped into the midfield and is no longer part of the lead pack? Charles, can we get your thoughts on that, please?
Well, I think realistically we are struggling with the performance at the moment, so I don't think we can consider us fighting for the for podiums at the moment, but we'll try to make to change that, and we are trying to work as hard as possible to change this.
And as another follow-up, we're at less of a power-sensitive track this weekend. What do you think you can do?
So again, a difficult one, as last year I think we were also struggling on this track. This year we have a different car. Hopefully the changes made on the balance will help us, but I doubt it will be a very different picture to the previous weekend. So I'm expecting that it will be a similar picture to the previous weekends.
And Sebastian, just your thoughts on that this weekend?
Well, to be seen. I'm always optimistic, so I like this track. It feels a bit strange being here without anybody around, because usually this is one of the places that is quite packed. So I think a difficult or different weekend ahead. But yeah, I think I'm optimistic. I think you can make the difference on this track, and I think we did improve our car. We know it has more downforce than the previous one. It's obviously not perfect and not great yet in terms of fighting for a top position, as Charles mentioned. But I think, and I hope that this weekend is a bit better for us.
Thank you. Let's go to the video conference now and to Scott Mitchell, please, from The Race.
Thank you, Tom. A question for Sebastian. Sebastian, you talked at length last weekend about the options that you have on the table going forward. There's a rumour in Germany this week that you've had a contract offer from Racing Point for the Aston Martin team for next year. Is there any truth in that? And do you see Racing Point Aston Martin as a serious candidate for you for 2021?
Well, I think rumours are called rumours for a reason. So I think anyways, I think now only a couple of days after Austria, there's not much that has changed. So given you mentioned that I was talking at length, there's probably no point for me to expand on this. But yeah, the fact is that there's no news. And yeah, if you ask about Racing Point, I think everybody's talking about Racing Point. I think the first two races have been impressive, the performance on track. But when it comes to myself, then as I said, there's no news, nothing that has changed within a week. And I said last time that it will probably take some time, most importantly for myself, to make the decision, the right decision for myself. And then once there's something to announce or something to say, then I think there will be the right time in the future to do so. But anything at this stage, anything is still open. I don't know, driving next year, not driving next year and maybe coming back, or not driving anymore and, I don't know, doing something different. So I'm not, as I said, I'm not pressured or feeling pressured to make my decision too quickly.
Sebastian, as a follow-up to this, John Noble at motorsport.com asks, do you believe that Aston Martin is your only realistic option to remain in Formula One next year?
Well, I think there's two ways to look at it. One is on paper, obviously, which seats there are and which there are not. I think for that I probably have too little information in terms of contracts and what are people's contracts and so on. But the other one is, I think I've been around for a long time and you never know. So obviously, you know, things can always change. And yeah, I think irrespective of that, I need to make the decision myself and then obviously see whether there's something suitable in that direction.
And Phil Horton from Motorsport Week has got in touch to ask, last week you left the door open for a return to Red Bull, but it was firmly shut by the senior figures there. Did that come as a disappointment?
No. I think as far as I can see, they have two drivers there, so you know, it's not a surprise. I think all I said was my honest and open opinion, and you know, as I said, coming back again, it will depend on, you know, what options there are, what I want to do, and then to find the best solution for myself. I think that's my key priority.
Thank you. Let's go back to the video conference and to Dieter Renkin from Racing Lines, please.
Thank you, Tom. A question for Sebastian. Sebastian, I wonder if you could clarify, please. Toto Wolff was very positive about you. Was the instigator for the discussions with Aston Martin possibly from Toto's side, given the very close links between Mercedes and the team, Toto, Lawrence Stroll, etc.?
Well, I think in some way you can say that everyone is close to each other in the paddock. So I think given the fact that I've been around for such a long time, I came across most people, not all probably, but most people. So I think, yeah, it doesn't need anybody's initiative to get to know somebody or to get in touch. So in that regard, it's probably helpful that I've been around for a while and know most of the faces and people.
Thank you. And let's go to Alan Baldwin from Reuters, please.
Yeah, hi, it's a question for Seb, and I apologise, my Wi-Fi was a bit unstable, so I may have missed this, but is it your clear understanding that a seat at Racing Point would be available if you were interested in taking it?
Did I answer that one already? I did, no? Sort of.
Could you answer it again?
I don't know what I said the first time round. What was the question?
Is it your understanding?
Is it your clear understanding that a seat would be available at Racing Point if you were interested in it?
Well, at this stage, I think it's talks. You know, I said last week that obviously I've been in talks with Renault, for example. So I think it's all sort of just talks. I mean, you know, I think at a later stage with anyone, I think then it would get a bit more concrete. But at this stage, I don't think there's. I mean, the truth is that there's nothing to announce and nothing more concrete than just loose talks.
Sebastian, Leonard Vermke at Bild has got in touch via email, and he asks you this. What's your favourite car from a James Bond movie?
The one that got sawed in half. Do you know which one it is?
I don't. What make was that?
Come on, trivia. Do you know which one it is? I think which one? The morning never dies or something. Is it no?
Well, there was
Which
the
one is
Lotus.
it? Tomorrow never dies.
Tomorrow never dies. Okay.
So do you know? You were like, how old were you? That was end of 90s, wasn't it?
I wasn't born.
That was a BMW.
End of 90s.
Yeah.
BMW Z8.
Yeah.
Is that your favourite?
Well, it's not my favorite car all time, but I think it is a very cool car. And yeah, I don't know why I remember. Probably I should remember the Bond girl more than the car, but I remember that the car got sawed in half, and then when I found out that actually it was a real car they sawed in half, then that was a shocker. Maybe that's why it's the first one that comes up.
Charles, I think you need to join in this fun. What's your favourite car from a...
Have you, like...
To be honest, no. To be honest,
So
no.
do you know
So
which
I will
one-
not even be able to answer that
Do
question.
you know which one Sean Connery was driving through the Alps?
If you show me, probably yes, but right now I've got no idea of which one you're talking about.
Okay. Good.
You've obviously got a lot of knowledge on this topic, Sebastian.
Well, I don't remember all the cars. He also drove a mini moke at some stage in some of the movies, so in one of the movies, but
That's a cool car.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's move it on. Another question from Julian Biot at Auto Hebdo to you, Sebastian. He says, could your final decision about what you do next year be influenced by the outcome of the Renault Racing Point protest?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what is really behind the protest, and I think it's up to the FIA to decide. Obviously, I've heard that Renault filed or put in a protest, but I don't know if it has any merit. But I don't think so.